$2,200. Let's say it was a 15% net profit.
Okay, you're being gracious.
Yeah.
$330.
Okay. $330 versus $1,450 for a catering event. I'll continue to be gracious. 33% net profit.
$478.
Okay. So in one day of catering, you've got a better net profit than the cafe in a day. Coffee catering can make you buku bucks in 2025. That's what someone told me. His name's Ross. He's sitting right here.
Hello.
Today, we kind of discussed that and why it might be a better idea to start or expand your catering operation than to go head over heels into a cafe. We do drink 2 awesome coffees, both of them gifts to us this week. One from Touchy and then another one from Mamuli in the country of Georgia that our friend Kent brought back to us. This program is sponsored by Localized Growth. We are partnering with them to ramp up the SEO in our business, and it's going awesome. And you can too. And you can get 50% off one-time website services or 20% off recurring SEO services. So check out localizedgrowth.valor to make that happen. Want to point your attention towards Clive as well. If you use code VALOR5 at checkout, you can get 5% off, and from Malkonig and Eureka products. That's a big deal when you're spending a couple $1,000s. Here's the program. Hope you enjoy.
Bring the beat in.
Before I start,
Dude, bring the bean in.
Bring the bean in.
And welcome to the Valor Coffee Podcast,
wow, thank you.
formerly known as Coffee Sometimes. So if
Yep.
you're jumping over from...
If you jump from like episodes 1 through 50 to this one,
It's like X, formerly known as Twitter.
Do people still say that? Or do you think they've made it to just X?
That's a good question. But they have to say that because so many people knew them as Twitter, which is the same as this,
It's the
like
same
Coffee Sometimes.
thing. Guys, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary of potting next month.
What's the
Dang,
date?
son.
Do you know the date?
I don't know. It was January, well, let's say 18th for kicks and giggles.
Man, 3 years. Do you think we're any better at it?
No.
Smash
no.
that like if you think we're better at it.
Hey,
I
smash
think
that like we're schmoo with
I think
it.
we're better, and we're better whenever we think about it.
But we're worse whenever we don't think about it.
Are you saying when we prep for an episode?
Well, when we prep for an episode, yes. And also just whenever we think about the words that we're saying as they're coming out of our mouth, I think we're better at it.
See, I think I'm better when I just let her rip.
He
This is for,
is,
I don't really
dude.
think I've gotten any like much better about ums and putting out coherent string together sentences.
I don't know, dude. You got to listen back to the early
Okay,
stuff.
maybe we're a little bit better.
3 hours, probably like 15 minutes worth of actual like digestible content.
Yeah.
But darn it, you know, they meaning formerly us walked so we could run.
We walked so we could run.
And
Yes.
and next year we're gonna fly, baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How has this podcast changed your lives?
Oh, man. I would say when you're forced to talk about stuff in business, I think I said this on the Third Wave Water podcast, which I know you guys already listened to. So this will sound familiar, but we're happy to be back in Stu, by the way. You know, it's
so
been a while.
long.
Studio.
You know, anyways,
it was actually 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Man.
when you're forced to talk about things in your business, it forces you to make sure you know what you're talking about. Imagine that. It's, you know, it's not just all up in your head and in your hands.
Yep.
You know, we're doing the stuff. But if we're going to communicate it, then it's like, wait, do I really know my stuff?
Yeah.
And I think we've also, some of our best episodes, if I do say so myself, are when we are learning in the spotlight. We're learning in public.
Like about vacuums.
Like about vacuums. Like that one time when we had that little spat in the comment section about vacuums. That was one of the best moments, for sure. What about you guys?
I would agree with what you're saying. I mean, I guess I've got two things on my mind. One, what you're essentially saying is the best way to learn something is to teach something. And I think, right? That's what you're saying?
Don't
Sure.
put words in his mouth.
It was more nuanced than that.
Yeah. So I love the times whenever we have a conviction and we want to talk about it and we You might do some research and then just like, because that's the thing. It's like we never want to talk about something we don't actually know about.
Sure.
And heck, I bet we have in the past. And
I think we all have. We're all guilty of that to some degree.
good point, Ross.
We just do it on a hot mic.
So I just want to make sure that the computer is okay.
Hey.
This tastes crazy, dude.
Which one, bro?
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to drink it.
It tastes like basil.
Dude, don't let Riley's wife have this. She does not like basil.
It's true. Have you ever like given her basil? And like,
Oh my gosh.
isn't that crazy?
That's coffee?
Right?
Bruh.
I know.
Boy. Dude, while Riley's looking at that, can I just say, like, how's your heart with the Falcons?
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
We'll get back to it later.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what are the Falcons like, the bird.
Yeah, we're talking about birds.
Like, I think they're an endangered species, like peregrine falcons.
Sorry, Grayson, you can cut all of that out whenever I was standing up, so
was
I can
good
get back
content.
to my thought. Do you guys want to say the thing about basil again? Do the crazy thing about the coffee. Do it. Go.
Oh my gosh, this coffee tastes crazy, bro.
It tastes like basil.
Dude, don't give this don't give this to Riley's wife. She hates basil.
That's what I've heard.
Wow. So I guess that was point one. Point two, I mean, really, like, I think this has grown our business.
Yes.
It's been awesome. Yeah. We've been able to meet more people because of this podcast.
Yes. And relationship is key for business, boys. This just in.
Yes.
Dude, what was the exact question you asked? Like, how has this podcast changed your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a very practical sense, working in the cafes and getting to meet people that are like, hey, thanks. Like, what the things that you guys say helps me and my thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, doggone.
Well, doggone.
If that isn't awesome.
I'm like, hey, that's epic.
Mm.
And I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, that's crazy.
You're like, I'm sorry.
I'm like, what? Yeah, just because like we're just, I don't know. It's fun. It's a hoot. I'm very thankful. I love the learning thing. I love the guest thing. I know, guys, we really like kind of dropped the ball on the back end of this year about guests, but
Wait, what?
Like, we didn't have a lot of guests.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we did.
This is our last episode. Like our most recent one, we had 2 guests, but
Well, I was about to say I wasn't there for the third wave water, so maybe
like it didn't happen.
Maybe
Yeah.
I disassociated.
Maybe you did.
He had Jared Truby on really recently too.
Yeah.
Pretty
Why is
recently.
Ross getting all the action?
He's the remote guy.
It's
He
true.
knows
I'm,
how to do,
I'm the only one who knows how to use the recording software, etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm thankful to be wrapping up another year with you guys.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to continue gearing up for these holidays with you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. These coffees are awesome.
Yes, and they were both gifts.
Yes, they were. We really ebb and flow of like, wow, we have a lot of coffee to go through right now. And then like, why don't we have any coffee to go through right now? So if you want to send us coffee, no shame. Feel free to send us coffee. No shame on my part for me to ask, is what I'm saying. So we have 2 coffees. The first one we just tried is from our friends Touchy. And they sent us some coffee. Thank you, Matthew.
They did more than just send us coffee.
Yeah, that's true. They sent us a care package.
And it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Should I go get the chip clip?
You shall. I think it's all right on the refrigerator. And the like when I don't know how you guys experience that sensation of watching and witnessing another coffee company do something that you're like, dang, that is nice.
That's fire.
That's fire. Like the care package we got of like the custom package, the chip clip,
Grayson, make sure you show this on the camera.
magnet. I'm like I want to be these guys. Like
Yeah.
these guys are my heroes.
There goes my hero.
Yep.
Watch him as he goes.
Yep. So thank you for stirring us up. I think it was like a care package of like, whoa. And the coffee's awesome. Shout out to coffees from India. There's two. I think they're, if I had to put a pin on it, I think they're the same coffee processed differently, which is just really special. I've only tasted the washed India, and it was awesome. It was super nutty.
This is washed?
This is a different coffee. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Those two India
So you haven't
coffees.
tasted that one?
I ripped open the bag for right now in
okay.
lifetime. It's their fruitcake coffee.
Okay.
Ethiopia Rashad Ababogu.
And
Natty.
shout out to Matthew from Touchy for being one of the main contributors on the Valor Coffee community,
Oh, yeah.
our online platform,
Really?
where coffee professionals seek to unite and elevate via the internet.
Join today. Top link in bio.
He is always just stirring up trouble in there. It's really cool how generous people like him are with their time and knowledge on the VCC.
Dude, gotta send him some stuff.
I know.
Not that like we feel pressured to after you sent us stuff. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not like this weird, like contrived thing.
we need to like get some custom mailers in first to like make sure.
We
Like,
need to get some friggin' chip clips,
Like, we're gonna
and
get
then
our-
we can send some coffee over to up to New York. But what's this other coffee we have?
well, I mean,
The Basil one.
the Basel. I mean, it was from. Do you want to read? So Kent,
I think the note just says it best.
go ahead.
Got this really sick coffee for you guys to try from the other Georgia. I guess that means the country.
Yeah.
Like the
Was he
country.
there or something? Hope you dig it. It fancy. Something about a bacteria co-ferment on a washed process. ... Kent.
bro?
And then he sent me a text message that said, dropped off that coffee. Try
That
to save
coffee.
me some.
Okay.
Fat chance, bro.
And I can tell you after the first sip, I might not try to save him any because this is insane.
Crazy work to put no comments, just try it as the flavor notes.
That is BA, bro.
I kind of like it.
Washed nectar citrullus. Colombia Rodrigo Sanchez. Have we brought on a coffee from Rodrigo Sanchez?
No.
Nah. So,
Our menu or on the podcast?
I don't know. It just sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I share
sounds
that.
very familiar.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely wild. Did you get any more juicy deets on their website or has
There's
Well-
a QR. Is it in Georgian?
That's the thing about it. They do not have a website.
They're off grid.
They're off the grid. Like there's not a way to buy this coffee that I can see.
it's like no comments, just try it. No website, just come to the cafe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Well,
that-
I just feel so special that we get to try this then.
It's
Like
Me
incredible.
too. It makes it.
I wonder what they roast on.
Like, makes it mean more.
one would have a hard time getting a coffee from Georgia to this Georgia.
I know.
So
Imagine like the Georgia to Georgia trade climate right
right,
now.
yeah.
I think it's probably pretty dull, except for today.
Today, yeah. And well, no, it wasn't Georgia. Remember when we went to go visit Maker's Cafe
Yeah.
and I needed to find some orange blossom water. And I start
Naturally.
Yeah.
I start Googling around and I stumble upon this European market in Destin that is just 100% stuff from the country of Georgia.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Another example of like Europe and our state where we live, like being in the same sentence,
right.
you know?
Yeah, well said.
Do you have any other examples, Riley?
No, I do not. At this juncture, I'll check back in if I do.
Do you think you'll have a
They
salad
roast
today with
on
French
a-
dressing?
They roast on a Besca.
Oh,
What's that?
really?
Are you serious?
Yes, really.
Bro,
Do you know what a Besca is?
No, Ross.
I don't know what it is.
You can't
Personally.
Google search Besca?
Just use ChatGPT.
I'm on their website trying to figure it out. Touchscreen, unique look, durable design, double wall drum.
Oh, I thought you were on Mamuli's website. I was like, man, they're giving all that content about their Roaster?
Drum speed regulation, modulated premix burner, hot airflow control.
Oh, drum speed.
Okay.
You might want to
Faster.
But yeah, I'm trying to find more.
Yeah, after first crack, we crank up the drum speed and just kind of let it rip.
Keep that thing tossing.
Dude.
We go full spin cycle. I think it's about time we dove into some questions. We've been getting some in the Q section. It's time for some A's.
Come on.
Yeah. So go ahead and take off your zip up hoodie.
Go McAfee.
He's looking jocked.
If you listeners out there would like to send in any questions or just topics for us to chat through, send an email to info@valor.coffee. People are always so sweet and encouraging in their emails.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, that's great.
Maybe I'll start forwarding them to you because maybe it could.
Do you need a dose of encouragement?
It could be good for you. I know that you've been
down.
I feel like I'm the one that gets the most encouragement.
Okay, fine. I won't send them to you.
I'll take more.
All right. So a gentleman named Troy has two quick questions. Troy. Comment below if you know that reference. What drip coffee machine would you recommend?
Wow. Oh my God.
We currently use a bun. 64-ounce pots, 8 pots per hour. For 5 different types of drip coffee at a time. What?
Holy crap.
You kidding me? 5 different types of drip. That's 64-ounce pots. That's smaller. But we're a Curtis family.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. Maybe we could dive into that a little bit. But I think the way that we got into Curtis was, one, they used to sponsor the Cat and Cloud podcast. I think that was probably why we bought one.
Wow. Ad deal's working, huh?
And so if you want to sponsor our podcast, maybe you could drive sales. So that brewer back there, I don't know if you can't really see it in the background. That was our single head Curtis G4 was the coffee brewer on our cart. That was our first brewer. And then I think we just were comfortable with it. So for our first cafe, we bought the dual head version of that. And then for our second cafe, for continuity sake, we bought the dual head version of that again. And I would say as I've dealt with different brewers over the years with wholesale and with other cafes, I would say the user experience, the setup, the recipe creation is a lot easier on Fetco. In my experience, whereas Curtis is, you gotta like do a little bit, it's not menu diving, but it's like you're setting the amount of seconds that a pulse is running for. And you kind of have to like do that over a long period of time.
How do you do on the Fetco?
It's a lot more like set brew weight, set time to do that, set your bloom, your temperature, and then it just kind of does it.
Oh, okay.
And then in my mind, I'm like when I'm setting up a wholesale account, like honestly, I'm not like setting custom pulses. I'm trying to like get them to brew good coffee.
Yeah.
So in a lot of our wholesale accounts just set up their own brewers. This is like when I'm setting up a church or an office or something. But anyways, that's
we
us.
also modded our Curtises.
Yeah.
With Scott Rayau 3D printed dispersion screens.
Yeah. I don't know if it's straight from him. He does sell them on his store. UFO dispersion screen. I don't know what
it's supposed to saturate the bed, the coffee bed more evenly.
I think our drips I think our drip's good. It in all of our years, I don't think we've ever had like we had a problem in our Alpharetic one where like it would cut off sometimes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that got sorted, but
it did.
Don't know how. I did. I had a hard time getting in touch with Curtis sales or tech support. Honestly, I had a couple like mean interactions. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know what Fetco's like, but I feel like Fetco are Curtis is pretty solid.
Yeah, Fedco Curtis is what I would say. I think Bun is coming out with a lot more like that's that level of brewer, you know.
I'll push back on you guys. I think if I was starting a cafe, I would really consider fitting ground control into the budget if I could.
You think?
Yeah.
Why is that?
The versatility, especially, I guess it all depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. But the ability to brew concentrate that you could then use in an iced format, pretty cool to have that option.
David Vincent.
If you're doing things out of one space. With us, you know, we make our cold brew in our HQ, but even still, we've considered, you know, changing that to being brewed on ground control or like rigging up a similar system ourselves. So, I like it.
I get it. I just do Chemex, like hand drip.
I'm sure you would.
That could be really wise. The second question, what kind of grinder would you recommend to grind 5-pound bags of coffee for wholesale accounts? This is mostly drip grind and grind about 25-pound bags per week. I mean, the EK43 has held up well for us, grinding a lot more than that.
Not a flex, just a fact.
I was trying to flex, dude.
Oh, sorry. That was a flex.
Come on. Yeah, there's that. And then the pine cone grinders are super cool. I just tried them at SCA and they just felt and looked so sturdy. And that's really what I want in a batch grinder. Just give me sturdy.
Yeah.
When you're grinding for wholesale accounts. But here's another question. And then we got to get to our topic. I don't think we have. Have we fully gone into the middle child?
We brought everybody on our journey when we were like revising the specs on it, but there is nothing wrong with a refresher.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear.
Well, so Mr. Steven wanted to recreate the Valor middle child at home.
Oh.
And he wanted to know how we do that. So how do we do that, Ethan? And what is a middle child?
Thanks so much for question, Steven. So first thing you're going to need is an espresso machine. Check. Okay. The next thing you're going to need is paper portafilter filters. Paper portafilter filters.
Yeah.
Oh boy. The next thing you'll need is a V60 filter or just another pour over filter. The next thing you'll need is, I don't know what you're using for a grinder. So like, if you're looking at an EK, we kind of like if it's a clock face, I feel like we're grinding around like somewhere between 12 and 1. So it's like pretty fine.
If 0 is espresso and 100 is like French press, what would you say percentage wise?
25.
25. Okay.
I don't know. Well, I think about it like this, Ross. It's 4 times as like coarse as espresso, almost.
Okay.
I don't know, because like we're quadrupling the output and we're kind of like quadrupling coarsening the grind. That doesn't exactly follow. Makes sense in the old noggin up top.
In Ethan's brain.
Yeah. In Ethan's brain, I'm like, yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna say that on a podcast.
I'm gonna say that live on air. So we do 20 grams in with that like way coarser than espresso, but pretty much finer than everything else kind of thing.
Finer than like V60 or.
Yeah. Like twice as fine as V60, whatever that means. And then we don't really like tamp it. We just like set the tamper on to kind of like level the bed. And then we lock that John in the espresso machine, run it for 180 grams. Usually takes like, depending on the coffee, 30 something seconds. And then you have this like 1-to-9 weird brew ratio thing that is the middle child. And we just like to take the extra step and run it over a pour over filter. You might be thinking, isn't 2 filters too much? And some people think so, but those people are wrong. And we're right. And if you miss one of them, it kind of doesn't work. Like if you didn't filter out, if you didn't use the portafilter one, then too many coffee solids get in that if you pour it over the V60,
Oh yeah.
it's going to clog
It's
the
actually
V60
three filters.
because you have the metal filter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to use the Weber Workshops like top filter. Joking. Or am I? And if you bypass the pour over filter and you just use the portafilter paper filter, I think it's just like 80% as good.
Yeah.
Like it's just a little murky still.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting some coffee solids in there that kind of make you like was this a French press?
Almost like a French press.
It's almost like a French press.
Yeah.
And dude, it's just good. I had a Kenya, Nairi Hill, and yesterday, and I said, "Gosh darn it, this is really good."
Mm-hmm.
I'm very pleased. I would go to say it's S tier. You know,
Yeah.
see previous episode.
Shout out to Lance and who was the coffee shop that does it for Noma? Tim Wendelbo. Yeah, for putting us onto that from afar. With your videos, because before it was good, it just wasn't quite right.
S tier.
It wasn't S tiered.
And that's what's funny to me is like some people think that we're like doing sub pour overs because doing this, but I'm like, these are some really fancy people backing this project.
Noma said it's okay. Tim Wendelbo said it was okay.
Lance Hedrick said it was okay. I'm like,
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Have you guys ever had espresso through the paper filter?
on accident, but not like intentionally.
I haven't. No.
It's a different experience, but it's pretty good.
Puck saturation, I imagine, would go up.
Yeah, because you get
Evenly.
a lot more saturation on the bottom.
Just more even.
Yeah, more even extraction. Obviously changes the body, but I do it at home sometimes.
Can I give an espresso grinder update? I just feel like the people want to know.
Sure.
We finally made a move on some grinders, and we purchased 2 Mazer Rober S.
S for S tier.
S for S tier. We're like, is this one going to be S tier? And we've had one of them in Alpharetta for a few weeks now, and it's been going really well. Really pleased.
We've retired the Malkoenig E80
Supreme.
S
Not S tier, Supreme.
to the lab here, where I think it'll be a lot more happy here.
Yeah, I found a new home.
Yeah. Before we move on to our topic, I know we're getting so close. We're so close. I want to kind of have some discourse over the discourse in the bar room on the community. That
Okay.
is
It's about the Cortado.
our faithful listeners being PO'd that we didn't, in their eyes, do the Cortado justice on the tier list.
Okay.
Where do we rank it?
Do we say B?
Uh-oh, we may have said C.
Let's see.
And people are like, the Cortado's good?
Yes, that's what they're like. I will start with Touchy Coffee Zone Matthew
Uh-oh.
saying Cortado hesitance on this week's pod. I must say I'm surprised at the Valor Gang's hesitance, apathy towards the lovely Cortado. Cappuccino can surely be great, but I would personally put a perfectly made Cortado up against any cap ever. When it's right, that little blast of love transforms into this dessert-like treat that melts everything into place. Not sure how deep y'all get into this, but I was taught that Cortado milk should always be steamed to 120, no hotter, and there should never be more than a millimeter of foam on the top. Service in proper glass is essential to being able to note that foam level. No foam Tado, please.
Wow.
He goes on to talk about an experience that he had in the early 10s, life-changing. He's convinced coffee making people can't/won't be able to make a beautiful Cortado until they've been served a perfect rendition. And then someone responds, Matthew Beardsley responds, Cortado has a place on our menu. In my opinion, people that order Cortados are the true coffee nerds. It's an elegant, dare I say, sophisticated drink. It's exactly what you need
You rarely get both
when that's what you want.
those qualities together.
JP McKenzie says, I can't wait to make a cortado for you someday, Matthew Carefully of Touchy. I agree, and I was shocked to hear the hesitance too. We serve a surprising amount of cortados at Meadowlark, and I love it for the same reasons. It feels like the perfect marriage of coffee focus with a bit of milk texturing geekery. Matthew Carefully responds, I remember when our shop opened in 2015, we couldn't give cortados away. Sales were like 2 times per week, and by the end, it was like 2 per hour.
That's an increase.
You call that an increase? I don't know numbers, but
Hey, unless they only had like 2 guests a week, then
Elias says, Elias of Tetherball says, we do maybe 3 to 6 cortados a day now versus 1 or 2 a week. A couple years ago, cortados are definitely a coffee head's drink. It's nice to see we've grown that audience. I've never heard of keeping the milk to 120. We do try to stay at 140. That was also a curve here with everyone asking extra hot at first. All that to say, cortado is an easy A+ for me. The espresso comes through no matter what, and if it's a little off dial, it cleans up with good milk. And then finally, we have someone who takes up for us, Nathan Hanna. Thank you, Nathan.
yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go.
On the cortado debate, I totally hear y'all. For me, I'd put it in A tier because when executed perfectly, it's probably the best milk drink. Cappuccinos would go in the same tier for me just because it's honestly hard to drink a full cappuccino. But yeah, that milk temp needs to stay to 140 or less. The espresso has to be flipped or stirred before milk goes in. The milk needs to be super glossy and homogeneous. And the espresso needs to be within the range of excellence, ideally a really sweet espresso. I think the reason the Valor boys don't love it so much is because it's super easy to get one of those important aspects wrong and then it kind of sucks. LOL.
Well said, Nathan. I mean, first of all, I just love that we can have civil discourse on our community.
That's right.
Online.
I mean, I did respond to that and just like say I was deleting everyone's accounts.
Yeah, they will be off the community.
but
we do have
EOD.
we have to ban them now.
And that happens.
No, that is 100% why I didn't, because I think the tier list, we're like coffee drinks in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like coffee drinks going to specialty because like how I was thinking about it is like when we travel together and we go to like whatever the coolest shop is and we get our drinks. It's like, how are we going to tier list that? Now, I love the note about the 121 millimeter.
Love that.
Like I love an under temp drink, and I would assume it's lower temp. Probably for the taste, but also because more of that drink is like hot espresso, proportionally speaking, so
Good.
you can get away with less temperature on the milk. Wow.
I'm excited to try a cortado today.
Me too.
I will just I put it in my to-do list.
Did you really?
Get a 120 Tado.
120 Tado and no foam Tado. That's for real.
That's for schnizzy.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
It's fun. It's good, clean fun. But yeah, you said it best where we're coming from. Ross, you had a topic you wanted to talk about today. Why don't we jump in?
Yeah. Well, it's catering. It's catering, boys.
Here we go.
It's the cart. And last time you guys talked about the cart, I wasn't in here. I was actually doing the work.
And we said everything wrong.
And it's time for me to get on here. And
Well,
set the
you
record
listened
straight.
back, so what did you think?
No. Oh, I did listen back.
Dang it.
And
He listens, bro.
you guys
listen at the gym?
did such a great job, actually. But we're trying to explode our catering operation.
Not explode.
In 2025. I mean, not really explode, but more so like grow it and make it a actual like part of our business that, deserves attention, is making money, is profitable. And it's been a focus of mine in the last quarter or so. I think about my life in quarters because I'm a business guy, but
And a football junkie.
and football, so it's kind of double. But I thought we could kind of explore
I'm cutting you off.
that topic. A cursory overview of kind of where we've been, whole context. I think it's helpful when you're communicating. And we started off as a cart, right?
Guilty.
So in 2016, we built, along with Riley's daddy,
Old 90-10.
Little 90-10.
Well, it's like everything when my dad goes, where like we were there helping and he was like, can you guys run out and get something? And then you come back and it's just done.
Yeah, it's like 10-80-10. Kind of, it's like that vibe.
It's the 10-80-10 method. Yeah. Dude, that's funny.
And so in 2016, there were not a lot of coffee carts. Like we were kind of like looking all over the internet, couldn't find that much. We found some for inspiration, which is how we like got the design for the one that we ended up building with Brian. And so we kind of became known in a very, very small, not that crazy, super duper niche way for coffee carts in the industry. Just people reaching out in our DMs like, hey, how can I pick your brain about coffee cart? Because more and more people are getting into it. And are still to this day, our biggest podcasts are our coffee cart podcasts. And we're not doing this one for the views. We're doing this one because we've just been talking about it.
We hope this doesn't get any views.
Yeah, we hope this is kind of like an underground vibe.
Yeah.
Which is why we wait to the end of the episode to actually talk about what we're going to talk about. But
no chapter marks either.
Yeah, no chapter marks. Anyways, so I felt like a little bit of an imposter at times.
Hey.
If I could just like open up on a hot mic with you guys with thousands of listeners.
No better place.
Because we were giving all this advice about coffee carts, but really like we completely stopped focusing on catering. And
to call what we did a success.
No. I think like
no.
Like
well, success in the eyes of a lot of people in terms of a coffee cart is ending up in a cafe. So
well said.
And that is 100% the case for us. The only reason we started as a coffee cart was to get closer to opening a cafe. That was our ultimate goal. And once we did that, we completely stopped focusing on catering. And I'm saying specifically catering because that's different than vending, right? Like out doing pop-ups and like selling coffee at farmers markets.
Well said. Good.
And we even went so far as when we opened our pop-up with our cart in the co-working space that our first cafe is in to this day, we would turn down events that paid more money in order to just stay open at the pop-up and make less money because we knew that staying open at the pop-up would lead to more regulars and more community involvement.
Loyalty, baby.
For our eventual cafe. So that just shows you like where our priorities are. And it left us questioning this piece de resistance.
Go there.
Another Europe reference. And it was, is catering even a viable business? That was the question. You remember how we were always, kind of chopping it up? Because, there were several eras throughout Valor of like, should we resurrect our catering operation? And it never even really got that started in the first place. And then I started to, through this podcast, meet more people that are running very successful catering operations. And just kind of talking with them and connecting with more people and hearing like, okay, this is like people's full-time jobs running private catering, corporate events, weddings, mostly those two, in that order. A lot of times corporate events and weddings. And so, there's several coffee companies out there that just do catering. Like they don't have cafes. They're not like a roastery brand. They are just events. They've really niched down to that. They have multiple carts. Like imagine running a coffee catering company and you have like 6 carts.
They're saying that's a fleet.
Yeah. You have a fleet of carts.
All right.
You really got it down to a science. And so we're like, okay, there's other people doing this. We have all of the necessary tools and kind of knowledge. We had like the raw materials to like scale our catering business. And I would say the focus for this catering push comes in part by the fact that we're not really that interested in opening a third cafe right now. And because the overhead is just not the overhead, but the startup cost is just so high.
But if anybody has $500,000 they're looking to give away, we're not going to say no.
Yes. And we probably just
And we're not going to give it
do
back.
other things with it. But
Like get a fleet.
we'd probably get the fleet.
Yeah.
Even Greta Van. So
All right.
anyways, I think once we realized that like it was possible to have a successful catering operation, and then when you run the numbers on like the business model of a catering operation, the results may shock you. Some are saying,
In what
just
way?
in the sense that it's a pretty low cost operation. Like, let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
We're all about transparency here on the Valor Coffee Podcast, formerly known as the Coffee Sometimes Podcast. Yesterday, we did a event. Some are saying an event.
Event.
We did an event,
I like that.
and it was for what's 10 to 2?
4 hours.
4 hours. I think we charged close to $1,450, maybe $1,500, which is lower than we normally would for that amount because they were a return customer.
Take
And
notes.
Marketing.
And gave them an hour for free. And so
That's a freebie, guys.
And gosh darn it, we went there, and I think we served like not a lot of drinks.
30.
30, maybe 50. And they said that my intention here is not to reveal any sort of like details about the client or like paint them in any bad light. I'm just trying to convey the business model of catering. They said it was like, over 100 people would be there. And we more so charge by the hour, not by how many people will be there, because we pay employees by the hour and you have to pay them for however long the event is. And so me and Joey went there and we served, we had a great time. Everybody was happy. And what are the costs involved with a catering operation? You've got like the transportation, like the fuel to get there. This one thankfully was like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from here. And then you've got the cost of goods, which again, if you're making like 50 drinks and the drinks are split shot, which for us, that just means we're splitting the shot of espresso and making an 8-ounce latte instead of a full 12 or 16-ounce latte. And we have drip coffee and we have some tea as well, but that's kind of the idea is you have 8-ounce drinks, smaller drinks. And so my point is like the cost is pretty low. And then you're paying labor, which is your biggest expense. You got insurance, sure. You need a place to store everything, but we already have that built in to our operation because we have a roastery in the warehouse we're sitting in. And so, so you might say like, well, why are you charging that much? And let me tell you 2 reasons just that I can think of off the top. One is catering is a high value premium experience. You're bringing an entire, it's a hassle, like comparatively speaking to like load in, load out.
That's why you charge for it.
That's why you charge for it. We're very professional. The drinks are excellent. Yes, it's very good coffee. We use all like the best ingredients we can. And so like when you book, if anyone has planned a wedding, how expensive it is. And so we're sort of just like matching that energy, if you will, with our pricing. That's one reason. And then the second reason, I forgot it.
You're like, did you already say, you said high value? Because when you think about, I was thinking about how this is still under like the goods and services world, but it leans a lot more towards service than good. It's not about like the quantity of beverages you're putting out, but it's almost like when you're at a nice thing, it's people want there to just be options. And it's like, hey, for whatever, $1,500, yeah, we can just rip drinks for 4 hours straight and you can get closer to your like good deal line, whatever that is for you. But most people just want you to be there for that exact reason.
That's right.
You're fulfilling a service.
I remember the second reason. The second reason was sometimes you have events like the one we just did where it's 4 hours and you're making 50 drinks. But sometimes you have events where it's 2 hours, and you have people that just continue to get drinks and drinks and drinks. You have a line the whole time. So you're just like, and there's no way for you to know. There are some ways, but it's like you can't really know how many drinks you're going to sell. So anyways, I'm just trying to convey we like catering as a business model. Now the question is, how do we make it more scalable and more easier to operate? Because we got to a place where when someone would book an event, my stomach would kind of drop a little bit. Because it's like, okay, I have to figure out this detail, this detail, this detail, and they're all really difficult, and I don't really know how to do any of it. And we're gonna have to have a trailer and the load in and all this stuff. And it's like all of that concern can be alleviated by just making better systems. And so I thought we could kind of talk about a few of those pivots that we're making, and maybe we can look back on this podcast next anniversary and
laugh
and see if we exploded and expanded our catering operation. What do you think? You guys in?
Sounds awesome.
For the next
Can you set a reminder for next year?
little time? So on the note of simplifying and optimizing the operation, we have purchased a Simple Cart from Simple Cart Systems.
Yeah. Not sponsored, but Simple Cart, you really, really should. 'Cause You would make some money.
Probably.
You would.
So we bought a Simple Cart, and we bought their hub. They have it's basically just a carrying case for an accumulator.
Come on.
And it is right there. And the FlowJet, basically. I don't know if it's FlowJet branded, but they give you an all-in-one package for your waste bucket, your water.
He's doing it.
The hub, and it's all, you'd love this. It's all push connect.
Interesting.
And just putting it all together is seriously so easy.
It's never been easier.
Absolutely never been easy. I mean, here's the rub. We've always done like the do it yourself mentality of like we can run plumbing lines, it's fine. We can design a cart, it's fine. Our last cart, we actually have a video about it on our YouTube. It's us walking through our new cart that we had built by a local metal fab guy. And he's getting it. I hear it. And so you have this like, our last cart was like I think it's 6 feet long, maybe even 7.
Maybe even 7.
I think it's 6. But we got to a point where we can't like fit in certain elevators that we need to fit into.
Speaking of corporate events,
makes it really difficult.
Dang, that dang tiny.
So yeah, Riley, if you're just listening, he's wheeling in the Simple Cart. Here's a funny story.
It's all wrong right now, but you get it.
Yeah. Joey's is stepping into running more catering stuff for us. He's one of our team members here at Valor.
Longest tenured.
That's right. And I told him like, hey, can you get the cart prepped for an event we have coming up? And I was expecting him to like roll it into the trailer because I thought we would like keep the Simple Cart assembled, and just use the trailer still. But he completely disassembled it, and I like came back in to like check in on how he was doing and like, is he done? And he had totally disassembled it and like had it all packed up and everything. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean that. I meant just put it in the trailer. But let's try it.
Right.
So we've done 2 events disassembling the Simple Cart, which if you don't know Simple Cart, I didn't say this already, but the whole bit about Simple Cart is you can disassemble it, and you have all these panels that just kind of click together. And we had heard that it takes too long, like it's not practical to disassemble the cart and then bring it to the event and assemble it. But I would say it is practical.
Dang, dude.
at the end of the event yesterday, I finished out the event by myself. So we ended at 2 p.m. and I was in my car, in my Ford Expedition 2006 Eddie Bauer.
Flex.
With all of the gear in the back of the SUV. And it took me 40 minutes to from the fifth floor of a corporate building. That's pretty good. It is a little longer than it would have taken.
Right.
But I didn't have to tote a trailer. And remember, the whole name of the game here is like, how can we make this easier for anyone to do?
Yep.
We don't want to have someone pull a trailer every time they do an event.
It's dangerous.
And you just have to train someone on how to back a trailer, and
it's limiting. Yes.
And so that's one way we're simplifying our catering operation, is this Simple Cart thing. This isn't a Simple Cart ad. I'm just telling you my experience.
Thanks for being raw with us, man.
And we offer the same level of experience from this Simple Cart that we would have from our Cadillac.
Is it funny for
Cadillac
you two
is a very accurate way to put it.
Do you kind of like stand on each corner of the cart?
There's enough room. It's missing
its wings.
Its wings, yeah. It has wings.
This thing can fly,
yeah,
baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's one way we're simplifying things, and
we're going to buy another one.
I think.
Do you think? I'm just saying, like, it seems like here's what I hypothesize.
Okay.
Our catering operation is going to get busier this year because we're trying, and we're going to be helped by localized growth and their SEO services.
Yes.
And you're going to eventually have a time where we have to do a couple of events in a day, or like bring both carts.
Right.
You're going to bring the Cadillac, and you're going to be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be like, okay, I guess we're getting another Simple Cart.
Yeah.
Because we're booking out and we need to simplify
this
system.
The experience of receiving the shipment for Simple Cart and assembling it for the first time, like, I mean, I never use the instructions when I assemble something, but I still didn't.
You didn't even need to.
I still didn't need it because it's so darn intuitive and simple. And like, you can just tell that whoever designed this has like done a lot of events and they've like really road tested. Now, like we've done 2 events on this thing. So like if it starts falling apart, we're going to tell you about it, and if it gets all scuffed up and it shouldn't be, like,
unless we get sponsored,
then we'll totally
lie.
Rose colored glasses, the whole thing.
Like,
just kidding.
It broke, but like it was good.
Like it broke well. I think we all break.
Guys, we only take sponsorship from things we believe in. That's why we partner with Third Wave Water, localized growth. Clive.
That's right. So anyways, that's one way. There's this other whole side of the load in and load out process where I just try to do a lot of thinking in my brain and visualizing some drawings on like the following goal. How can we make load in and load out as simple and quick as possible? And I wanted to get it done in 2 trips. 2 trips from the car to the site. So if you have 2 people, that's 1 trip. If you're by yourself, it's 2. And so we got these hand trucks. We got a new cooler with wheels. We got some different boxes that we're using. So I'm just, anybody can do this. If you just think harder about how can we optimize the catering operation, make it easier. That's the point. And then as far as like how to grow the catering side of our business, it's SEO, right? And that's what we keep pushing to you guys with this localized growth sponsorship, but it's also like we're using it personally. And that's how we plan to grow catering. So you're almost done with the site, the page. Mm-hmm. What are some of the core things you've aimed at?
I can't give away all of the secrets, I'm just kidding. So, I mean, there is a part of it that's like page structure that Google likes. So H1, meta description, things like that, you know, an SEO service like Localize can just handle for you. And then beyond that, it's like make it stupid easy to book. So we're going to a form with not sponsor the program, flash quotes. Literally their business is just like form and then back end logistics of catering operations. They've been really nice and great so far. We like what we see from them. We haven't completely rolled it out, so this isn't like an official endorsement, but I think we're like halfway towards that. So that's going to be there. So it's going to be easier to book. And then just, I mean, really like more details and about your services, FAQs, and then beyond that, like location pages for like each area you service. That's kind of the gist of it.
Right. I remember when we were first trying to launch our website, we were and still are all about like values and our mission and like what makes us different in that way, and not being just a transactional business. And I wonder if like back in the day, if we looked through those lenses at what our catering page will be, if we'd be like, God, it's so transactional. Like, oh, it's so like businessy. Like we need to like say what our mission is, like uplifting people through coffee. But the thing is like that's not good for SEO. And so like when we first did our website, when we first started, it was like a lot more about like the about of, or like, you know, like why we do what we do as like the main focus of the website. Right. And that's just simply not a way to get found as a business or as a catering operation, because whoever's booking you isn't typing in Google like values-based coffee caterer.
There's someone
like
there's someone out there.
Culture
warrior,
culture
coffee
warrior,
cart near me.
Higher purpose. You know, those are all things we care about so much. I'm not poking fun at that, but you just need to go right down the barrel with SEO. Just like what people are. It's like that would be like the equivalent of opening a coffee shop in the back of a warehouse yard with no signage.
Yeah, well,
and expecting people to find you.
The way to make your values touch the most people is to make money and grow your business so your business is bigger. To make money as a business, all it is generate leads and convince those leads to buy your product.
With an offer.
With an offer, yes. So, you know, in this sense, generating the lead is having good SEO, being at the top. They get on your page, and then your page is, how can I convince this person to book my service as quickly as possible? Because that's what people care about. People care about price, and they care about timeliness and other stuff too. But,
right.
Swag.
Yeah. So that is what our new catering page is designed to do.
That's right.
Do you mind? I think about a website or like a forum page almost being like a digital version of walking into a cafe. Like we don't have our mission statement on the wall. We don't have the values on posters, but the whole thing is that we're going to live it out. So it's like once you book Valor and Joey shows up at your event and like totally lives out that higher purpose and is serving excellent coffee and giving excellent hospitality and uplifting people with what he's doing. It's like, that's where it really matters anyways. It's not about what we're saying on the walls of the website or the cafe.
Yeah. Yeah. So to wrap it all up.
Wait, I do want to say one more thing.
Go ahead, man.
As a good finale here. I just want to compare yesterday in terms of margin of the event you did versus margin of what Alpharetta did in sales.
Nice.
Okay, yesterday is a bad.
Okay. I know.
Yes, it is a terrible.
It rained all day. It was bad weather. That's true.
But can we just pick another day?
Okay, let's just say a $2,000 day at Alpharetta.
It's still bad. We're crushing, baby.
Okay, you know what? For the sake of this, sure. Let's say $2,200 day.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we get it.
The illustration is the percentages.
Get out your calculator, Ethan.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay.
He's the calculator guy.
I really am Well,
I just love talking down to you.
Unless Riley's on his
numbers.
computer. All right, go ahead.
Especially involving
All right.
numbers.
$2,200. Let's say it was a 15% net profit.
Okay, you're being gracious.
Yeah.
Okay.
After labor, after operating costs, everything, COGS, that's it. What's that number?
$330.
Okay. Yeah. My illustration is going to work here. It's $330 versus $1,450 for a catering event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll continue to be gracious. 33% net profit.
478.
Okay.
50.
So in one day of catering, you've got a better net profit than the cafe in a day. Now, it's hard to book events every day, for sure. But what I'm trying to say is that if you had 2 carts and between those 2 carts, you book 5 events a week at $1,250. Okay.
Do you need me again
No, I want to be the calculator guy now.
for the good news?
5 events per week at $1,250. That's $6,250 a week times 52, $325,000 a year. $325,000 a year if you were able to pull 33% net profit, which I'm saying that I think you can with a catering operation that's run well. That's $107,000 of profit a year. That's good money versus a cafe.
So that's $1 million cafe.
That would be $1 million cafe to do that. So I'm just saying your overhead's a lot lower. Your startup cost is a lot lower. You just have to, really get the scaffolding right to make a catering operation that's ticking that well, obviously. But that's our thesis here.
We'll check back in to see if we can do it.
Yeah.
We have the reminder set for next year. So
That's right. Yeah, I really just kind of see it in 2 sides of it. One is the SEO side of it, the exposure, getting more leads, making it easier for people to book, the experience of booking, being very professional and timely, and you respond on time, etc. That side of things. And then the other side of it is just how can we really what it is what we've done in so many different departments of our business, which is one of the 3 of us starts a part of the business and then we figure it out, and it's really ratchety at first because we're just doing it. It's yeah, well, I know how to do it. But then you have to build a system. You have to build a machine, if you will, for someone else to operate, an employee. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
Lovely.
That's all.
Hey.
And it's nice that we have things going on at Valor that all complement each other. What a gift.
That's right.
Our cafes can complement the catering. Catering gets people that live in the area going to the cafes. We also roast coffee.
Yeah. Hey, the roastery boys are beating down our doors. We got to wrap this.
All right. Bye.
All right. See you.
Bye.